Welcome back to Hello Nigeria. Now it's time for us to have our very first conversation. Of course, we do have two for the price of one, as we have another guest coming up shortly. But our guest for today is an author, a speaker, and today he's come to talk about character development. Now he's speaking at a conference coming up shortly, and the Hands on Deck conference is what it's called. But I would like to present to you Mr. Joe Ogbechie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for getting me here.
Yes, this is not your first time on my show, right?
No, I haven't here before.
Good to have you.
Talking about leadership.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're inviting you today to talk to us about character development. Yes. And it's important we understand what even makes you an authority to speak about character development. So give us an insight into your journey as an author, as a motivational speaker.
Yes, I developed these things over the years. There have been some lectures that I've attained and then tried to learn something. But I think I developed most of the character development from personal interaction with people that work under me, and the people that I work with, and the people that I within my immediate environment. And then I began to find out that character development is a personal thing. It's not what somebody tells you to do. It's what you learn that is the right thing to do. And you do the right thing consistently and unconsciously, and it becomes part of you. That's how you develop the character. It separates you from the immediate environment that you grew up in, from the immediate culture that was introduced to you, and from the philosophies that were taught to you. So
it's not something you can necessarily blame on your upbringing,
no,
your parents?
No.
Because don't you think that our parents, our family, they have a large role to play in some of the things that have now come to become our character?
Yes, they do. But the thing is that now the responsibility, that's where personal responsibility comes in. The responsibility falls on you to go out and find out. The perceptions and philosophies are the things that perceptions are yours. Philosophies are the things that the knowledge of what you have. Then what you find out about what you know, about what they told you, about what they taught you, about what you learned from people, now becomes your personal responsibility to actually sieve it and find out the best that really suits your immediate environment, that conforms with the normalcy of doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking. And that is what ethics is all about.
Very true. They say character is who you are when nobody's
looking. That's all it is.
Let's look at, I asked you if we're to blame our parents for some of our characters.
Yes.
And I'm asking this because, unfortunately, we're a generation of entitlement. We are very entitled. We have a lot of entitled people who feel that they deserve certain things, and if anything is going on in their life, is because they're always quick to blame. We're always quick to transfer blame. We're not willing to take responsibilities for our shortcomings. Yes. How do we get rid of the entitlement mentality that is fast spreading, in our society amongst young people?
Yes, the basic thing, the main thing is that we as adults, and even the young adults, have to begin to take a look at how can we, I'll give you a good example. If you are crossing the road, your parents told you to watch left, watch right, watch left again. Anytime you're going to go through cross the road, your parents are not going to be there to say, okay, watch left, watch right, watch left again. It is left for you to watch left, watch right, watch left again, then watch right again. So you have to make those decisions. We have to begin to teach them. We have to begin to teach the trainer so that the trainer can train the trainee. We have to begin to discuss the philosophies behind finding out yourself. A case of what I call personal paradigm shift. Until a good example is a deer in the red light. The mother deer could teach a deer everything. And when there is a car coming and the deer is fixated on the red light, all it needs to do is take a personal decision to swerve its head. And it's out of danger. That's what it is. We have to be, most of our parents, they only teach us what they know. And you have to grade back to their generation on what their parents knew and taught them. Now you're going to be able to go back and say, okay, maybe the culture are not practicable in this present dispensation. I'm going to go find out. I'm going to really, really go find out and take responsibility. I normally say it. I tell my kids that the day you grow up is the day you take responsibility for everything that happens within and around you. Somebody is smoking here. I don't like cigarette. What do? I get up, I leave. I know I'm not going to control him. You cannot control what people do, but what you can control is what you do. So we that do understand should teach the children, our youngsters, the young adults, to begin to say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for what I do. I'm going to take responsibility for where I am. I'm going to take responsibility. The 90% of what we do is as a result of rewards. You have to teach them how to go for the reward and find out the rewards that they can get so that they can develop it and internalize it. And it becomes an unconscious character.
It's second nature more like.
That's right.
Let's talk about something you said. You mentioned something about finding yourself. And I think that's a phrase that is often thrown around lately.
Yes.
Lots of people say, oh, go and find yourself. Or I found myself after I did this. What would you say it entails for one to find themselves? What is the journey to finding oneself like? Okay.
For what we know as individuals, one is what you're taught. The other one is what you see, and the other one is what you observe. And that is where pressure comes in. Finding yourself is not necessarily going to go look for yourself under the seat or something. No, you actually have to find out how you contribute to the general purpose of what your life is all about. If you, most of the young adults, take to the point to understand that you live here not because of what you get, but because of what you give. If I made mention of something like this when I came here a while ago. If I sew this suit for myself, that's for me. But if I want to make money, I have to create it in such a way that people will find value in it. So that is what I make for people. Now that becomes my purpose. You have to actually dig a little bit deeper. It's not an overnight thing. When you start finding yourself, when you begin to find your purpose, when you begin to find your direction, when you begin to create that enclave just for you, to understand how you're going to contribute into the society, you're going to find some loose gravels. Sometimes it might take a few steps or two. But when you fall and you get up and you look and you say, okay, I'm trying to do this, it takes a lot of mental, personal journey for you to know. Nobody defines it. And you will know it. There's a book I read that is like a Bible to me, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's another one, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I can give you so many examples. It starts from, what do I want to find out about me? Where do I fit in?
And it's very interesting. There are people like you, people we fondly refer to as thought leaders, who end up spending this time investing in themselves, reading books, and then they organize seminars and they pour themselves into people. Not all of us have the time to read as many books, but there are people like you who have devoted yourself to constant study, and you end up pouring of yourself back into people. And there's a conference coming up shortly, the Hands on Deck seminar. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's what we want to do is that we want to be able to create a paradigm shift, have people take a different look, not only about yourself, but about your environment. And we want to create that mindset where we have to refocus people to say, Kennedy, I live in the United States. I've lived there for a while, and my kids are grown. And the American Army, when they started, sorry I say this, some people might not like the word of American, but it has always been voluntary. For somebody to be in a position as wealthy as America is, like the son of Ross Perot, like the son of Joe Biden, like even the son of the Queen of England, to volunteer your own life to serve the society. What it means is that they find a meaning in where they are coming from. That's what we want to teach. We want to bring to the to the Nigerian environment. We want to be able to tell people that to find meaning in the environment that you live in, and you gain. We separate religion and politics out of it. You gain from what you give.
Life is really not always about what you get, but what you can give. It's really interesting that you're doing.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.